What's up?
What's up with you, fam?
We got another multifaceted guest today, another former athlete with us today,
Former
Mr.
teammate of mine. A lot of
Former,
people don't know that.
former teammate of ours. Well, me,
Oh,
me, kinda. That was on my way out in
yeah, when
his
he was
Miami,
coming in.
but we'll get there. We'll get there. All right, we back. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I can't call it. Can't call it.
Looking, looking like the Black Panther over there. It's kind of dark in there.
T'Challa, young T'Challa, even though I got the Killmonger hair, I'm
turn,
still T'Challa.
turn the lights on.
Hold on,
Um,
hold on.
but now you really gonna do it. But
Kinda like, no.
for today, we have a former teammate of ours, and the way that I remember him during my college year, I seen two dudes who was tackling machines. One's name was Indoor Cooper, another one was Keith Pough. So today we got Mr. Pough with us today. How you doing, Keith?
Blessings, blessings. What's up, Black man? How y'all feeling, man?
Great, great. I love the energy. I love the
Happy,
energy.
man. Yeah, gotta tap in. Gotta tap in.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
All right. So I said my piece. Go ahead, KG.
Yeah, so what's Keith Pugh's connection with Game 7? So the first time I've ever heard of Keith's name was my senior year. We actually were kind of came out the same year. 2013 was our, draft class. We both were undrafted. And I was like, Howard, like, who is this dude from Howard? Like, All American. I always would see his name. And then I got to see him in the East West Shrine game, and he was just cooking. I was like, "Yo, this dude is tough. Like, I like him." And then also whenever I would come visit Howard, I would like see him in passing, just with hanging out with y'all, Willie Carter, my guys from Howard. Originally I wanted to go there, but you told me not to go. And then we actually were teammates in Buffalo for a short stint as rookies, as undrafted guys. So we have some connections and ties there. So, he's a multifaceted guy. He's an entrepreneur, big energy, as you said, and I'm somebody with a lot of energy. So naturally, when we were able to connect, it was a little bit of easy process for both of us to, get to know each other a little bit. So I'm happy to say that we got Keith Pough on the episode today.
hey,
Yes, sir.
hey.
And to say my piece, I remember Keith, and this sounds crazy. It's like 12 years ago now. I
Yeah,
remember
Oh,
you and Casey used to come in the morning when we would work out. Well, before you
yeah,
even went to Howard.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I was at Howard like before I was even enrolled, bruh. On some
right?
wild shit.
Y'all
Like,
had them blue and yellow jackets, was it?
yeah, 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 yeah.
I remember this. I'm like, who is this dude? Yeah. But I remember like we had some BS when you was coming in. That's when I stopped playing
Yeah,
because we had some scholarships that didn't turn out to be scholarships.
yeah.
And just that culture of a team from the leadership on down,
That
for
good
me
old Howard.
personally, for somebody that loved football, it wasn't worth it no more.
Yeah,
So
no,
I got to take a step back and see you step in and get better through the years and then end up making it to the league.
understood.
Um, so thank you for joining us today. So to jump
Nah,
right in,
man. I appreciate y'all for having me, man.
thank you, thank you. All right, so you were born and raised in
Nixon,
Nices,
South
South
yeah.
Carolina.
Carolina.
That's if that ain't South Carolina, I don't know what it is, bro.
Hey, my man, one stoplight, one gas station, one grocery store, dog. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, it's small town. I mean, I was born in Orangeburg, but that's Nices is where I was born and raised, dog, and I'm a product. I'm a product of my environment, man. I enjoy the country. I just enjoy the country, dog.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So how is that different than like, besides the obvious, how is that different than living in the city? Like for example, you enjoy hunting and fishing. I ain't never been hunting. I ain't never been fishing, and nature ain't really like my thing. I'm not opposed to it, but I ain't really been in it too much. But I know you spent a lot of time out this way. So what are the big differences between city living and living in the country?
Just the people. There's so many people around you. There's so much to do. Uh, Everything is regulated different. It's a little faster pace. Um, the people aren't, the people mind their business. They go about their day. They're not, they're not overly into interacting with people, on a daily basis, opposed to in the South. As soon as you hit the South, it's like everybody speaks, hold the door, common courtesy. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir, out of respect, not out of superiority or inferiority. It's just a matter of respecting how you were raised, your upbringing. We were taught to have manners. Manners will take you farther than money. It's one thing my grandfather used to always say, and it's a lot more peaceful, man. A lot more spacious. I enjoy space. I enjoy land. I enjoy nature. I enjoy being outside. Being barefoot, walking through grass, in my backyard, go fishing down the road, grandma right beside me, auntie in the back of me. Another 5 minutes, you got my other grandma's house, cousins all the way all around. So it was a great place to grow up and to be rooted and grounded. Um, yeah, the South is people call it slow, but I like slow.
I definitely can relate to that because when I went to my boarding school, I went to the middle of nowhere. It was in Virginia, but it was in the middle of nowhere, like literally like nothing.
Yeah.
So at first, I'm from Jersey, like I'm not used to that. So when I was first there, it was different to me. It was like, yo, like why everybody want to go to the river? That's weird to me. But as I get older, I appreciate nature. I like getting out. And just because I experienced that, like what was it last year? Malcolm and a couple of us, we all rented this house in where was it, Mount? In Virginia. It was like kind of like in the middle of nowhere place, and everybody was all nervous because it was dark. And to me, I was like, yo, this is dope. To me, like I'm used to this. Like it's cool. So it's definitely a different type of pace of life. For sure, it gives you a lot more appreciation to nature and the world around you.
Absolutely, man. I love the sound of cicadas. I'm an outdoors man. Like fishing and hunting is what I do. Is what I love to do. Because there's not many people around. There's nobody that can really bother you unless they're out there with you, and they ain't really trying to bother you. And like you said, like when you go to the river, or you go for a walk in nature, like you're all there, and you have to be aware of your surroundings, and you get to make peace with yourself because it's just you, for the most part. Some people find it fun now, and I guess it's a blessing in disguise during COVID that a lot of people have ventured out because that's all you had to do is go to a park or hit some water, and you really tap back into who you are as a person and who we were meant to be as a people. And you can't ignore that. We get so caught up in life and busy that we forget it's really the simple things, like just being able to be at peace with yourself and by yourself and look up at the stars. Like when I first got up here, I was slightly depressed that I couldn't, look up at the sky and see the stars as bright as I could when I was home, because that was something that I always did. It's so dark in the country. Like you might have a light pole that's probably 30 yards from your house, and you might have your porch light, but that's all the light you got. And it illuminates the night just enough so you can see, but you really count on, the illumination from the stars and the moon. And it's a beautiful thing. It's like the stars seem so vibrant. And of course, because it's darker, but when I got up here, I was like, yo, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, bro.
A whole different change.
That's
why Malcolm is quiet, because he can't survive that life.
Man.
I was just listening, but now I was thinking, like one thing, like I'm not a nature guy, but however, I'm very intrigued by it. Like I
Mm-hmm.
watch like animal things on TV, and I always find myself watching on the Joe Rogan podcast. He interviews all of these people who are like big on nature, and they do like these lone survivor kind of things or
Yeah.
hunting kind of things, and I'll be locked in. And the hunters be having some crazy stories, yo, like stupid crazy stories. So tell us about your craziest hunting experience.
Well, I mean, we are hunters by nature. If we want to be technical, if we want to get down to it, and because of evolution and technology and things of that nature, things have kind of evolved, rightfully so. We are taught to be hunter gatherers. That's how we're wired. So, um, I don't have anything too wild. I don't really didn't really go. They didn't do a lot of big game hunting like elk, and some people do. Even they go on safaris and do lions and giraffes. I don't do that. When I go hunting, um, I'm going to kill and eat whatever I'm shooting. And it's not for sport. It's actually to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So the wildest story that I have, honestly, is my grandfather had a garden behind his house, and what I'm saying, with that garden, there comes like rabbits and deer. And honestly and truly, you're not supposed to hunt in your backyard, but in the country you can because there's a lot of land, a lot of space. So I'm sitting on the porch, and I'm just chilling on the deck behind my house. And my house is maybe 15 yards from my grandfather's house. Like right, his house is right beside ours. So I'm sitting on the deck, and I see this deer, and he's eating the vegetation, and I'm just like, bro, that's like some good eating right there. Nice size little deer, like an 8 point deer. And when we say 8 point, that means the point, how many antlers, how many points he has on his antlers, so that you know how old he is. He's mature. He's not a young buck. So sitting there and I'm watching him, and I'm like, yeah, I might have to get him, bro. He look kind of good. So I go over to my grandfather's house. I'm like Sam Senior, man. You see this buck in the back of your yard? He said, y'all already got him. So he already loaded up the shotgun and everything. So he stands on his back porch, and his his garden is, I'm saying, 5 yards from his back porch, but this deer is at the end of his garden. His garden is about 20 yards long. So it's about 25 yards away from him. And he's standing there. He's like, I don't know if I should get him. I'm like, man, granddad, you gotta pop him, bro. Like I've been eyeing him for the last hour. So either we gonna hit, or either you gonna get him, or I'm gonna get him. So he's like, well, shucks, I reckon I might well go ahead and pop him. So he pop him, put him down. We take him to the plant, get him processed, bring him back home, let him soak, try to get as much of that gamey taste out of the meat as possible. And we had deer steak, deer sausage, you know what I'm saying, grits and deer. And it's a great time. Nothing too wild, but that's what I enjoyed about the country, that I can go on my back porch and essentially get dinner for the next couple of days and rock out.
Wow, that's dope, man.
Yeah.
And literally delivered to you for free.
Exactly. Like you come to me, I'm gonna knock you down. And we gonna go from there. Like we did squirrel hunting, rabbit hunting, all in our backyard. Literally sitting on the deck, or let's say we'll walk in the woods and just walk in the woods and have our little fluorescent orange joints on, but it's all our land. So you just walking in the woods, and you pop a squirrel, put them in your sack. You pop a rabbit, put them in the bag, take them back to the crib, get some raccoon, take them back to the crib. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's country.
Yeah. I mean, but they're considered the cleanest rodents in the animal kingdom because they live close to water, so they're gonna go and cleanse their food, like wash it, and then they'll eat it. But I don't know how true that is. That's something my grandfather always said. So I was like, all right, bet it worked for me. Like, and it's good eating too. So I ain't even really tripping off that. Now, a city coon different. I'm good off city coon. Good off city coon.
Dirty.
Yeah.
Ain't no water in the city. It's a dirty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you going to the sewage line. I'm good off that.
Now this is a little tangent, but it's really relevant to all of us, and especially with you being a trainer.
Yeah.
But I actually just finished going through these couple of books and reports about how exercise impacts your brain.
Yeah.
With regards to the chemicals and how it can help you overcome stress, anxiety. There was
Right
a whole
my alley.
of it about women and how it helps with their hormones and all those kind of things. And they kept referring to put it in like regular terms, we chill too much today, right? Because evolution and all of those things
How we don't do what we're supposed to do. Yeah.
Exactly. But we are literally made to
To
hunt and
hunt,
gather,
to kill. Yes, we are.
To get out there in the sun.
Yep.
Because of technology and time and all of
We
those
don't
things,
do it.
the things that we used to have to do before,
We don't
have
have
to do no more. You feel me?
Right.
So like we got this new age way of doing stuff, which is fine, but we're not like before we didn't have to worry about taking care of our body because we naturally did it. You feel me? Was doing something stupid.
Yeah.
Did your granddad tell you anything about that in that regard?
No, that was just our way of life. He wasn't. My grandfather had a 7th grade education. Okay. But he was the wisest man that I know, just because of life experience. And he would say little quotes and little things that I wouldn't pick up. Then I was like, all right, granddad, like you know what I'm saying? You just being funny. But as I got older, I was like, man, he really made sense. And just having a 7th grade education. It doesn't mean that he was dumb by any stretch of the imagination. He just didn't have the proper schooling, so to speak. And it wasn't until I really got into training that I understood what we are, who we are, and how we're wired and how we're made to move as humans. And how, like I said before, based on evolution, how things have changed so much so that we've gotten away from what it is that we're supposed to do. And there's a flip side to that coin, because evolution is absolutely necessary for survival. But there are some things that should have remained unaltered and unchanged, because in our essence, we are animals. We are wired to hunt. We are wired to, and I would say as men are wired to be go-getters. We refer to them as hunters and gatherers. The woman was charged with the task of, and I don't want to get into gender roles because I understand it's 2020, and the woman don't want to be in the house. She want to be a go-getter as well, and I get that. But the man he was charged with 3 tasks: to protect, provide, and procreate, by any means necessary. And when you get into the brain, we have 2 systems that we operate from: our parasympathetic and our sympathetic. So how we wired, our nervous system is fight or flight, and then we have like a rest and relax and recovery. That's our parasympathetic. But our sympathetic it drives us in everything that we do, from the person that we meet to the person that infringes upon our peace, our space, to who we let in, to who we keep out, to what we do on a daily basis, how we interact with people. And all of these changes are happening in our brain. Our brain is trying to process so much, from the ground that we walk on, from the sounds that we hear from our surroundings. And we've gotten totally away from from how we sleep, our circadian rhythm, to we are supposed to rise with the sun, and when the sun hits high noon, we're supposed to nap, or rest, go find shade, and then as the sun goes down, that's when we return to work or we return home. And that has been derailed by capitalism. That's where the 9 to 5 work day comes into play. That 40-hour work week, 60-hour work week. But back then it was all about production. Did I produce the maximum amount of what I needed to produce for my family to survive for the day or for the season, and I'm done with work. And not going too far into that spiel, but we are wired to move. We forage, and simply put, the amount of energy it took to catch a thing was the reward you got for catching that thing. So the energy you put into picking berries is not going to be the same energy you put into trying to catch a rabbit or trying to catch a deer or trying to, fight off a saber-toothed tiger or a lion or a bear or something that's coming to attack your family. So in that same breath, the neurotransmitters and the neuroadrenaline that comes with that is different, because it's a different feeling when you're looking for a pencil versus you have a bear that's looking for food, and it's you are the food. So you gotta think differently. Your instincts are heightened. That neuroadrenaline is pumping, and you ready to go. We don't have that anymore. What we have is simulated stress, bills, traffic, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, children. None of the stress that we experience on a day-to-day basis is actual stress. It's not physical stress. It's not going to cause you any harm. It's just that you're thinking about it, and it's perceived stress, and your brain doesn't know the difference between real stress and perceived stress. So it's still going to secrete those hormones and neurotransmitters as if it was stress. And if you don't know how to handle it, you don't know how to respond to it, everything else you do is going to be out of whack. Like your sleep is going to be off. You're going to have heightened anxiety and depression. You're not going to want to eat. And that's kind of a tangent, but it's all the connectivity of it is all integrated, because you can't practice. They're interdependent on one another. Like you can work on these things separately, but they all work together if you understand how everything is integrated. From sleep to food to lifestyle to your social circle. And then what I love about you guys is you all talk about holistic health. And I'm big on holistic health because your well-being is more than just the physical. It's the mental, it's the spiritual, it's the financial, it's the social. You gotta like the people that you're working with. Quiet is kept. And if you don't like them, you gotta like what you do, but you can't not like both. You have to have some form of a social life. You have to be spiritually grounded and in tune with yourself. Because if not, a lot of things will fall by the wayside, and you'll be one of those things. And you're easily distracted in whatever you do. So holistic health is big, and because we've gotten away from who we truly are as people, and some people find it like, what I admire about this generation and now is people are getting into plants, they're getting into nature, they're getting into, being by themselves. There was an experiment of people did an experiment on essentially saying that people would choose the lesser of two evils over spending 15 minutes in complete silence. And that's troubling to me, because that lets me know that if you can't spend time with yourself, then you don't know who you truly are. And most of those things don't happen until you're in a situation where you are by yourself, where you're all in isolation, and you got to spend time with yourself because you have nobody else. Yeah. You have nothing else, nothing to depend on, because it doesn't work. It doesn't fill that void that you were looking for. That's a conversation for, another.
I'll piggyback off that. So, yeah. Just like you talk about, when people, if you don't sit and talk it by yourself, have that isolation period. Now we're seeing it with COVID, right? when you finally have a chance to, we can't really go anywhere. Now things are opening up a little bit more. But in the beginning of COVID, you couldn't do anything. So people were forced to kind of figure themselves out. And then you see people going through panic modes because now for the first time of their life,
they got to sit down.
Exactly. And now what they identified as who they are was their work and not themselves.
Exactly.
So COVID to this, like it's proven your point. So many people don't really take the time to figure out themselves. Earlier, we had a discussion with the Ron Brown, with members of Ron Brown School, and we were just talking about like you got to figure out your inner turmoil by yourself before you can ever want to be in a relationship or do anything with somebody else. Because if you don't know who you are on just your level, then how can you possibly give that same love or want to receive that love if you don't know who you are?
Absolutely. And and that is, to me, that's a coping mechanism because you're trying to get away from it. You don't want to quiet your mind. You want to keep going because that's not something you want to think about till you really have to sit down and deal with it. And if you don't deal with it when you're supposed to, it's going to manifest as something else. And, we get caught up in, that's why you see like impulsive buying or someone who, they're serial monogamous. They always have to be in a relationship or always got to be around people or they always got to party. I'm not saying it's anything wrong with those things. Know who you are first. Because if you don't know who you are, then how can you expect for someone else to get to know you if you don't even know who you are and what you want?
Yeah.
So when problems arise, like, hey, so what you want me to do? And you like, I don't even know. That's a great question. Like you got to own that fight, and it ain't easy. Like I've been there, 3 or 4 times in my life in the past 10 years, and it's not easy, but it's the work that has to be done. Like you got to do the work. You got to be in that process, because if at any point in time you rush that process, you're gonna miss something valuable. My grandfather, I'm gonna use a lot of country terminology and slang. My grandfather always said, "Haste make waste." So if you always in a rush to do something, you're gonna miss it. Like you're gonna miss something valuable. And then when you get to that point where you think you should be, you want to be, you wonder why you can't keep it. You wonder why you maintain it, because you rushed the process and you missed a valuable step, a valuable lesson in rushing it. And the slogan is trust the process. But the word process in and of itself indicates that there's a passage of time. So all you really saying is trust the time. Trust the time that it takes to develop and become who you are and who you're supposed to be. Whatever it is. Bruce Lee talked about be like water and just flow. Just be like water and flow. Water is powerful. Water can be still and you can see sharks and everything swarming underneath. You know what I'm saying? But water can absolutely wipe out countries, total cities, based on the time of year and the power that it brings. So you got to understand how to flow. And I love the title of today's podcast, Ebbs and Flows, because that's exactly what life is to me, is the ebbs and flows of life.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Keith, that was bars, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
I don't know if you know, but like you speaking my language, like I spend so much time studying the brain, the body, the mind, and all those kind of things. And maybe I am kind of like a nature guy now, because like I have a.
We all are, man. You can't get away from it. I promise you. You ain't tapped into it yet, but we all, like, I don't care what you. So even if you say you aren't a nature guy, everybody loves beaches. Everybody loves water.
Yeah.
That's what we are in our essence. We come from this earth. Mm-hmm. The Bible says, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Yeah.
We're gonna return to the earth. That's what we are. We are the product of this earth. And just because you feel like you're not, you just haven't tapped into it yet. And once you release that, bro, and tapped into it and just get away, I'm talking about it's so peaceful when you can be alone and you feel like you surrounded by whatever, like you just good. Like think about the best time you ever had in your life. The best love that was ever shown, the most bottles you popped, the table, like you feel like that was a great time. But I promise you, the best time is when you're away from your phone. There's no notification, even if there is notifications, even if there is emails, you don't even care. Like you don't have access to that. You in tune to here, right now. You letting them thoughts come into your head. You letting them go out because you comfortable with who you are. You nothing sways you, nothing moves you, and you just move, but you just flowing like you, bro. That's a nothing can disturb you. Like you, bro.
Well,
You
I'll
put a
tell you
different.
that I think I'm in there, yo, because like
Yeah.
literally every day I spend a lot of time with myself. So
That's
I'm
it.
up at 5 every morning. I do my reading, 30 minutes to an hour. I meditate like 30 minutes. I do my workout. I do my research for the stock market like every day. I take a
Mm-hmm.
walk, a run every day.
Mm-hmm.
We doing 85 miles this month. I ain't missed like a walk or run in like a year and a half.
Right on. Right on.
Probably like one or two, right? So I spend a lot of time with myself, right? Um, but things you say, like something, like I'm the master of accountability, right? And like communication. So I get into it. Well, I used to. I don't get into it no more. I just kind of leave people where they at. But I used to like get about getting people to grow, like especially about working out and reading. It's like yo, I don't want to look like Beyonce. I don't want to look like him. Like yo, that's just the residuals of what's happening to your body, yo.
Body,
Like
man. You gotta take care
what's
of your body.
really getting here is going on up here.
Yeah.
A lot of people, like the bars you were dropping, a lot of people are unaware, right? So when you got a lot of stress, which naturally collects when you don't do anything, your brain is pumped with cortisol,
That's it.
right?
The stress
And that's
hormone. And you,
and that's bad news.
yep.
And in your brain, you got billions of neurons with uh millions and millions and millions of connections, right?
Yep.
So everything we do, like when I did this, some circuits fired in my brain,
Yep.
some certain pattern of circuits to make me do this.
Yep.
Then something had me do. So every single thing you do, there's circuits that fire, right? And when those circuits do fire, that's stress, right? And
Yep.
a lot of people think stress is just a
Hey,
bad thing. But
good
when you
stress, bad stress. You stress and distress.
exactly like when you get down under that bench, that's stressful. But you getting your weight up, you
Right.
growing, right? But then if you put too much on there, you can hurt yourself, and right?
Right.
Mess up, kill yourself, right?
You
But then
gotta
also
find that sweet spot.
exactly, and people don't notice that when you work out, your brain creates more neurons,
And
right?
you building new connections. Every
Yeah.
time you even if you just move, even if you just move, like if you just get up and go for a walk,
Mm-hmm.
that gait pattern of coordination with left foot, right hand, right foot, left hand,
Yeah.
and you just going from side to side. Now you building connections,
Yeah.
and you got to be in your head because now your body got to coordinate subconsciously. And then
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, you can listen to music, so you might get a bop.
Mm-hmm.
So now you got a nice little dance. You know what I'm saying? And that's your brain creating those. This dude here always,
Always joke.
always on your time. But those the connection that like movement is essential to life. You got to move. Like you don't have to. And we sometimes we get caught up in you gotta lift weights. No, you just got to do something fun that you like. Hiking, biking, running, walking. I don't like run. I'd rather hit the steel. You know what I'm saying? But if you like running, go run. If you like rowing, go row. But you have to do something that's going to keep you active. Because that's how you become creative. That's when your brain is firing at its peak. Because that's who we are. And since we've gotten away from that, it's like imperative more than ever. And you build your social circles based off the movement that you create.
Yeah.
Um, and that's just basic. That's who we are as a people.
Mm-hmm. That one, you correct. And then you also mentioned something about being present.
Be present, bro. Be where your feet are.
I think people underestimate yesterday and they overestimate tomorrow.
Bro, absolutely.
You feel me? So what you should
Absolutely.
do is like, yo, just stay here today. You dominate today and right now.
Yep.
Do it again
Tomorrow. That's it.
yesterday and tomorrow at the same time. You
That's
feel
it.
me? But when
Can't.
people worried about yesterday and what happened already and all that, that's depression. When
Yep.
you worry about the future and you don't know
That's
what's gonna
anxiety.
happen, but you all jammed up, that's anxiety. So
Yep.
when you ain't present, that's when we're dealing with these mental health things, right?
Yep.
And then when we do tell people like 7 days a week, oh that's too much.
Pushback.
Or I did it for 7 days and I didn't get results. It's like they overestimate what you can do in 2 weeks, or they
Mm-hmm.
overestimate what you can do in a 90-day program, but
Yep.
they underestimate what you can do in 2 years or
Exactly.
what you can do in 90 months. You feel me? Like
They want it right now.
yeah, like just
Instant
dominate
gratification, my
right
boy.
now.
They want it right now. It's bruh, that joint runs rapid. Runs rapid. And it's a futile way of thinking because can you do anything about yesterday?
Nope.
You don't know what tomorrow looks like. Have no thoughts for tomorrow. Tomorrow take care of itself. You got today. You got this next moment, every moment in front of you. Because yesterday was today, it just passed.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is now today.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow, the today we have now is going to be yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't take care of today, every day, you're going to be in the same spot you always been in because you didn't do what you're supposed to do today. And there's a it's a book called Chop Wood, Carry Water. And that book is essential, I believe, to anybody who wants to understand like the essence of life and understanding being present in the moment and being yourself, because it talks about being where your feet are. Wherever your feet are, that's where you need to be. Because if I'm with my family, I'm with my family. 9 times out of 10, there are gonna be very few occasions in life where something drastic happens. Where like you have to pick up the phone, or somebody picks up the phone and call you, and you have to be there on the spot. A lot of things can wait. A lot of things are not as urgent as people make them to be. Some things can be handled tomorrow. Some things can be handled at a later date. So be wherever you are, be where you at. But you can't expect these things to happen. These things are going to happen, but I'm not going to be worried about them. Like I'm not going to be worried. Oh shoot, God damn, I gotta. That's your anxiety because now you're thinking about what could happen as opposed to, man, let me enjoy my people right here. Like if you call me, you need me, I'm there, but I'm not tripping right now because I'm cool. I'm enjoying where I'm at. I'm enjoying my people. I'm enjoying where I'm going. If I'm at work, I'm at work. If I'm at home, I'm at home. If I'm on vacation, I'm on vacation. If I'm out of town, I'm out of town. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be where you are fully, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally. And if you don't want to be there, don't go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm king of that. Like if I don't want to be around certain people, I don't go. Because you messing with my aura now. You messing with my energy.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna do that. I work too hard to protect my peace, to willingly and willfully, you know what I'm saying, mess it up.
Mm-hmm.
And those things change because there were times where I was like, you know what, I agree to something, be like, yeah, I'll go. But the day of, I'll be like, I ain't really feeling it.
This ain't for me, brother.
I'm good. And 9 times out of 10, it ain't even about them. It's about me. I don't want to be the one to mess up their vibe. They might got something going on, and I'll go in there and my joint all wrong because I don't want to be there. I done went through whatever it is, and I need to go recalibrate. I need to get back to who I am. I need to recenter myself because I'm off. I know I'm off. But if I go, I'm gonna be further off because now you gotta deal with people. Oh, why he acting like that? Why he ain't drink? Why he ain't talking? Why he not sociable? Like why he? It ain't even about you. It's about me. So to negate that, I will distance myself from that situation until I get myself right.
Mm-hmm.
Because we like, you know what I'm saying, and that's where empathy and compassion come in. It ain't about you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like other people got life going on, and life is real. Life is hard, like you really got to deal with the vicissitudes of life on a daily basis. You got to do life every day. So before you pass judgment on someone, or you say, "Oh, this person acting funny," take a minute to just step back and say, "You know what? I don't know what this person is going through," because you don't know. You don't know what they have to deal with on their daily, but you don't know what they had to do in the car to get themselves ready to get out of the car to deal with you, or to deal with these people, to deal with life, to deal with the day. So it ain't always about you. It ain't always about what you're going through. You got to sometimes in empathy is putting yourself in someone else's shoes and just thinking for a second, just for a split second, like, all right, this person's acting funny. And they usually don't. So something is not right. Mm-hmm. So it's not them. It might be something they're dealing with. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's a lot. It's a lot.
No, that was good. Go ahead, KG. I see.
Yeah, I said this earlier today to a bunch of teenagers, and we were talking about relationships and things like that. But that's all ego.
It's all ego, man. You got to kill ego, dog.
It's all ego driven. When if somebody, everyone takes it personal, and at the end of the day, it's like, yo, like, I'm not the only person in the world. Like, you're not the only person in the world. Like, get over yourself. Right. People are dealing with things far bigger than what you can see. So that's something I preach a lot. A lot of people got to go check that ego and really tap into their consciousness, because if you're not tapping into your consciousness, then you're going to be blinded by just only you and your ego and your perception, versus realizing that other people other people got life just like you. Exactly. I got problems. You got problems. Now got problems.
Like life is life, bro.
Yeah.
But people gotta like just talking to you, like, and you can get it. Like, once you get it, you can tell other people get it. Like, I can tell you woke, you enlightened, or whatever word you want to call it. Right. So, like, when we talked to the kids earlier, was about trust. Like, everybody talks about trust, but few people can go in depth, right? And that's kind of what you broke it down into, right? So trust, the first thing is boundaries, right? I'm not going tonight. Yeah. Or, you my brother and I love you, but don't call me no more with this situation unless to me that you helping yourself first. Like, if you're helping yourself, I'll jump in there with you. But otherwise, you can't do that to my energy, because I got to worry about me and my own crib. Right?
And you better respect that.
Exactly. Boundaries. And number 2, it goes to reliability, right? Can you be counted on? Not just once or twice, but can you always be counted on? That's very, very rare. Like, you can ask KG. That's something I struggle with, because, like, I live and die to always be reliable, right? But when people don't do what they say, that, like, pisses me off, right? But I have to learn, like, yo, that's just them. And as I see people in their actions, that dictates how close I bring them to, because they're not responsible for how I feel.
Right. Only you're responsible for that.
Then third is accountability, right? When you do something, are you open to being corrected? Are you going to what's the word I'm looking for? Are you going to apologize, right? Vice versa. When I do something wrong, am I going to own it? Am I going to apologize, right? Then after that, you have the vault. Like, if I tell y'all to something that I only want y'all to keep, I expect y'all to keep
it for sure.
If y'all to tell me something, y'all expect me to keep it, right? And obviously, if we tell somebody else, that breaches that vault.
Absolutely.
Or hypothetically, KG's brother told him something that was supposed to be between them two, and KG tell us, I can't really trust KG no more either, because he ain't saying nothing about me, but he's showing me that he'll take somebody else's information that's sacred
and he'll put it in the street. So
right?
We do with yours.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He just
hey, look, I don't trust words. I don't trust actions. I trust behavior, because anybody can do something once or twice. Yeah. I'm looking at trends. I want to see what you do consistently over time. Over time, are you going? What kind of performance you gonna give me on a daily basis? Like, life changes. Like, and life is undulating and oscillating. So we always going up and down and up and down. But are we all? what I pride myself on is moving in the right direction. So whether I'm going up or I'm down, I'm still going through the ebbs and flows of life, but I'm steady going in the right direction. I don't care how fast I'm going, how slow I'm going. If I'm up here, if I'm down here, I'm still going in the right direction. And so it's imperative, man. You got to know who you are, dog. Like, real for real.
And people don't realize if you get 3 yards every play, you got the best offense of all time.
You got the best offense of all time. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I like my chance on 4th and 1.
I love them.
4th and 1. I done got 3 yards. I'm getting 3 yards every play. You gonna give me 4th and 1? I like that. I like that. Slow and steady, dog.
Well, let's use that to transition because 4th and 1, KG got the ball, and you probably meet him in the hole, right?
It's gonna be a battle, goddamn. But I need him to know that I'm coming every play, and I know he coming every play.
But unfortunately for me, unlike y'all, I ain't get that high school growth spurt.
Yeah.
And turn into a beast. I got the high school stop growing. You feel me? It's like 8th grade, you know. But let's go back to that, and both of y'all can relate to this. So, high school, you played for your father. Keith did, KG, so you did not. But y'all both hit a growth spurt and had position changes. From KG was more so defense to offense, and you offense to defense.
Right.
Then y'all hit these records and All-Americans and all that kind of stuff. So first, tell me how was it before your growth spurt, and then tell me how different was it after the growth spurt.
So before I hit the growth spurt, like before I hit the growth, like that set the stage for who I am today because I didn't have it. I wasn't the biggest, I wasn't the fastest, I wasn't the strongest. I was skinny fat, had the skinny arms. I had, you know what I'm saying, I love squatting, so I had like relatively big thighs, but I had the little pudge in the middle. And I played wide receiver. And
receiver.
Yeah, I was a wide receiver, dog. I had the best hands probably in the nation. Hey, I probably had the best hands in the nation, bro, in high school. Like, that not having it gave me the recipe for what I need to do to keep it whenever I got it. Yeah. My father was 5'9", my mom is 5'7". It wasn't looking real bright for me to be 6'3" that I am now. It wasn't looking real good. So all I had was my work ethic and being the, most intellectual on the field and off the field. So everything I did was dedicated to perfecting my craft and being the best at whatever I could do and being the best version of me. And setting goals and not so much worry about the goals, but worry about the work that's in front of me that's going to get me to the goals. Because like I said, I didn't have it. I had the dream like every other kid. I want to play in the NFL, but I wasn't the fastest. I wanted to play in the NFL, but I wasn't the biggest. I wasn't the strongest. And I just didn't have the tangibles. I didn't have what people was looking for, as a high school athlete. Up here in Maryland, now, recruiting starts when you in 6th, 7th, 8th grade. I'm 5'7" in the 8th grade, like 160 pounds, 170 pounds. Like I ain't making no noise. You know what I'm saying? But what I can do is, I can go ahead and run these routes to perfection and, catch the rock and be Mr. Dependable. And then I heard an interview by Jerry Rice, who he wasn't the fastest or the strongest, but he perfected his craft. And I started honing my craft after him and just being able to run routes and knowing how the defense worked and then catching the rock, getting down. Because I wasn't going to take no hit. I really didn't want no point. Like, I ain't want no parts of the action. For real. I love football, but I wasn't really that guy to take a hit. So I was going, and then when Jerry Rice, the GOAT, solidified, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play the long game. I'm gonna catch the rock, get what I can, get down, get out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? That's me all day. You know, 35, right? Give me that little slant rock. I'm going down. Like, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. So that taught me everything I needed. And then once I hit the growth spurt, the only thing that changed was I just got a couple inches on me, and nothing else changed except for I guess I transferred schools at that time, and I still only wanted to play offense. Didn't want no parts of defense. I really didn't. Like I lie to you not. Like I really didn't want none. But because I had been around the game since birth, I knew the game, and father got a job at Denmark Ola. That's why I met Willie Carter and D'Angelo Moody, and that's how we became tight. So I was there for like a semester, and after that, after my 10th grade year, after my 10th grade year, I hit the growth spurt that summer. I transferred to Scotch Branch. My father was a defensive coordinator and assistant coach. So going that summer, we go to a scrimmage down in Denmark. We played against Denmark in the school in Bluffton. So we had a guy, I forget Robert. I think his name was Robert Gaston. Robert, I can't remember his last name, but his name was Robert. Like he was from New York, feisty dude. He got into a fight almost every play. And at this time, I'm playing safety. I'm about 6 foot, like 170, 180. I'm just back there. I'm thinking I'm Sean Taylor, Ed Reed. I'm just back there patrolling the defense, putting people in the right position. But he kept getting into a fight. He got into a fight damn near every play. So my pops took him out, told him to go get on the bus, and moved me down to outside linebacker. So they ran a couple plays, and just off instinct, boom, I go make the play. I'm making the play, the line of scrimmage, make the play, the line of scrimmage. But then they kept running up the middle. So I'm on one side of the field, and they just run up the middle. So Pops yelled at me. He's like, "Hey, Pough, go to middle linebacker. Everybody outside." So now I have the ability to split the difference, and I can go both ways. And this was kind of the defining moment in my, I guess, career, because mind you, I wasn't afraid of contact, but I really didn't want no parts of contact.
Want to be.
Yeah, I ain't want that bump for real at this time, because I still was like, "Hey, bro, I'm gonna be a wide receiver, dog. Like, let me catch the rock and do what I do."
You still have a little cuteness in you.
Huh?
You still had that little prima donna cuteness in
you. Right. Wristbands to the elbows, the gloves unstrapped. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to rock. So they throw a bubble screen. Bluffton had this kid that was like 6'7", maybe 320 pounds. A lot of you not, bro. Right hand, I put my right hand on the Bible. They throw a bubble screen, a tunnel screen to this kid. And like when you in the moment, you ain't really thinking about it. You just reacting. So they throw, like, I see the quarterback get up. I'm like, why is this guy here? I think he gonna set a block or something. They actually throwing him the ball. The quarterback get up. As soon as he turn, I just take off. So I get there and I'm like, yo, this man really caught the ball. Somebody got to tackle him. I closed my eyes, bro. For real, I closed my eyes and I just launched my body into him. And I hear everybody screaming. I'm like, yo, this man just scored on us, bro. It's a wrap. But I roll over, dog, and he's like 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And everybody going crazy, smacking me on my helmet and doing all that, you know what I'm saying? Helmet sideways, feel me? And this was on a Friday. That Monday we going to practice, and the head coach, you know what I'm saying, he talks to my pops. He's like, so, hey, what you think about, he referred to me as baby to my pops. And he was like, what you think about your baby playing linebacker? And he's like, man, I think that's a great idea, hell of an idea. And I got a little taste of blood, dog, and that was all she wrote. After the growth spurt, it was like, hey, I'm trying to hit everything moving. Ain't nothing coming around me that don't get hit, that don't get touched, dog. So that's really how it happened. And like from my junior year to my senior year, I hit that last 3 inches. Got like 6'3", added a little weight. I'm still string bean. I'm 6'3", 205, and senior in high school playing linebacker. But yeah, bro, that's really how it happened, though. And the funny part is, like, y'all know Casey. My senior year, we go back to play Casey and them at C. Murray, bro. And they like, there ain't no way that's Keith. Ain't no way that's Keith, bro. Cause by then I'm 6'3". I got the butterfly collar, not the neck roll.
Oh yeah,
with the butterfly with the vibes on. Bitch, I look like, hey, I got the gloves on. I got the Magnet Grip Remix joints with the two-tone. So it's and white. I'm cold. I got the white tape on the gold belt. Belt turned up.
Yeah. You know, in high school, when you see somebody looking sweet, you like, yeah, he a dog.
Oh, I'm so thrilled. I'm so thrilled right now. And I'm feeling myself.
So I can really relate to that because for me, going to high school, I was 5'5", 185. I was fat. Like I was like a little bowling ball.
Bowling ball, right. Butterball.
Yeah, like puberty got the best of me. I still remember Mouth used to clown me all the time. But no, so for me, I play like the dive fullback, but I'll play mostly linebacker.
Yeah.
So and then like as I got older, really hitting my growth spurt, that really made me understand mastering your role, being a superstar in your role. I think that's what made me really become a great teammate because I understood that it was multiple ways that you could contribute to be a part of the team. Was I the one always making plays? No. But if somebody made a play, best believe I'm over there celebrating them with them and things like that. So when I wasn't the guy, it allowed me it allowed me to really take a step back and understand the position that I had. I could either complain and be like, well, I wish I was playing, I wish I was this, or accept what I do, play where the coach wanted me to play. And up until my senior year, I played linebacker, I played DN, I played D tackle some games, I played safety. I was mostly, and then every once in a while I would play offense. And then so my senior year, my sophomore year, I went from 5'5", 185 to 5'10", 180. And then by the time I was a senior, I was 6'2", 210. And that's off of pure, not even working out. That was just pure God. That's just the guy that created me. And so by the time then I clicked. Like my coordination clicked. Because before I was like really awkward at first when I had that growth spurt, because you know your body's like
you gotta adapt to it, yeah.
So by the time I'm a senior, now I'm clicking. I'm running the ball with anger. Because I realize now, like I got something. Because I was always a physical guy. I like hitting. But now I understand, like, yo, I'm running the ball and I'm bigger than these dudes. They don't want to tackle me. But I think the biggest thing that I took away from not being the guy early, it definitely taught me to be a better teammate and accept my role. Because as I got older, especially when I had to play in the league, if I didn't go through that experience, it would have been really tough for me because, coming from college and, coming from college, we coming from small schools.
You ain't that guy.
And we the guy.
You the guy. You the guy.
You the guy. So then when you transition to playing with guys, you're like, I used to watch this man on
exactly.
So
and that boy getting them M's.
Yeah, M's.
So they treat him totally different.
Totally different.
He come in the building, niggas on the doing me.
So if it wasn't, so those early days when I was just a part of the team versus I don't know where the heck Mount went, but those days, there you go. It really forced me to really understand my role, and that's why, as you've seen in the locker room, like the energy I brought. Like that was important to me because I understood how important that part of the game was. Like in basketball, it's called a glue guy. Like the guy
He gels everybody together like that chemistry. You gotta have that guy.
And you might not, the guy might not play a lick of
Right.
of a minute, but that's his role on the team. So it really helped me develop that part of my game, and you know, as I got to be the guy in college, I was still had those same you know, characteristics of when I wasn't the guy. So
Right.
it wasn't like I was one of those guys that was standoffish. I was too good for anyone. So I think as a leader, when I was in college, it made me a little bit more easier to be around, because you know, we all been around some guys that you know,
they were the guy, but they were dickheads.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
And it's just like, come on, bro. And we all know the one guy in Buffalo we talk about. Yeah, we know who he is. So I'm proud of myself for not being that. I'm not sure what Malcolm is, but speaking
Bruh,
of,
you gonna let me produce the show? Y'all having y'all pro football talk, so I let.
so you just dipped off.
hey, man, like, hey, I'm about to go chill.
I'm here. I just took myself off the screen. I'm listening.
I didn't know. I thought your camera died or something.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm stepping my producing game up, bro. I'm good. Yeah.
That boy trying to get it right. He on his Spike Lee groove over there.
Yeah.
But something y'all said, I think there's a reason God like kept me little and like kept just little. Like if I was 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", I would be dangerous. Like Keith, you saw me in school. I used to be wild and y'all like.
Yeah, you used to be on some other stuff, Mal. I used to be on some other stuff, bro.
Oh, Clubber Lane.
I mean, hey, bro, I'm like, bro, you can't do that, though. You can't do that. That's not gonna fly, bro.
I would be all over the place, bro.
That damn. Hey, I learned my lesson.
I would be.
Oh yeah, so let's transition to that. You talked about almost, you know, not winning a lot, and then almost getting to the point where you almost got kicked out of Howard.
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you?
Man, that was the transition at Howard that made me a man. Like that's the ebbs and flows that I'm talking about in life. And it wasn't that I was a knucklehead, you know. I was just being who I was. So my first 2 years at Howard, we weren't winning no games. I redshirted my first year. That took a toll on me. Mm-hmm. But I used that redshirt year to become a dog. Like that's when I set all my goals. I had this piece of paper that I gave to my position coach when they said I had the red shirt. I was like, yo, I'm gonna be the best linebacker in the nation. I'm gonna be defensive player of the year. All the accolades that I accumulated over the years, I wrote on this piece of paper, and I gave it to him. And he read it, and he wrote it in his handwriting, and I put it on my wall. So we would work out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:00. My redshirt year, and I use every practice that redshirt year. I thought of it as my game, so you wouldn't know that I was a redshirt because I was out there dogging everybody. I didn't care who you was. I didn't care what role. I was like, yo, we losing, so you ain't got nothing to say to me until you do this on Saturday and we win a game. Like I don't want to hear nothing of what you talking about. If you ain't dogging these dudes out here in practice and then on Saturday, don't say nothing to me. Just because I'm a freshman, like y'all, you really don't. There is no culture here. There's no standard. Like you don't. There's nothing for me to respect because I don't understand losing. I don't understand this mentality that y'all got. So the next year, my freshman year on the field, we still didn't. We won 2 games. I think we went like 10-9.
2-9.
Yeah, but I played every game like, you know what I'm saying? I balled out. Averaged 10 tackles a game, 3-4 tackles for loss. So it really didn't affect me because at that point I'm trying to get mine. And then that summer, actually, the summer before my freshman season, we got into a big melee at Howard, and that changed the trajectory of my life. Simply because had I not got into that fight, or had I not going through that, I probably would have been dead or in jail. To be honest with you, I wasn't a hothead, but I didn't back down from anything. Like I was on everything. I took the mentality off the field,
To the streets.
on the field, like off the field. Like I'm attacking everything. Like you got something to say? Let's talk about it. Let's let's sit down and deal with it. Like you feel like you looking at me some kind of way. Let's talk about it. And I didn't come from that, but that's what I became because when I had the red shirt, my mentality was, all right, I gotta attack everything now. I gotta go at everything. Everything is a target. I don't care how you feel. And I didn't know how to separate the two because it became so much of my everyday life. And that incident when we went through the fight, we go through the judiciary board and they put those sanctions on the table and they're like, hey, so you're gonna be kicked out of high for 2 years. When you come back, you can't play no sports for a year. You can't join no organizations for a year. And there was like another sanction. And I was like looking at the sanction, I'm like, bro, I can't go back to South Carolina, bro. Cause it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's either that or it's either this or the military. I mean, and at the time there were institutions that I could have got into, you know, because I wasn't borderline. But I had to really sit down and think like, yo, first of all, you 6'3". At the time, I'm 6'3", 225, 230. Ain't nobody finna be tussling with you. Like nobody finna, you know what I'm saying? Just on the streets for real. Like ain't nobody finna be tussling with you, dog. Like you guys really think about this. And my demeanor was I'm not an arrogant person, but I don't fear no man. So I'm gonna walk confident and comfortable in my space. So you're not gonna approach me with the BS. But I'm also not gonna be arrogant and invite it, or you know what I'm saying, in listening, or invoke it, or evoke it, provoke it. So, bro, we get fortunate enough, you know what I'm saying. I don't know if it was a tactic to scare us or to get us, you know what I'm saying, on scare straight, but we got it right. And from that point on, it was football, football, football. If it ain't got nothing to do with school and football, I don't want it. So that first year, I kind of balled out, got injured like the 8th game, 9th game of the season. Missed the last 2 games. That next year, I set the national record for tackle for loss in the game in the season. And that was like all she wrote from there, bro. I got a little taste of that hard work paying off and the results. And then everything else after that, man, I was like, yo, I can be myself. You know, you can ask any of my teammates to this day. I wasn't the guy that was standoffish. Like I knew how to have a good time, but I pick and chose where I needed to be and where I wanted to be. And Malk can attest to this. Like I wasn't at every party, but I did go party. I did have fun. But for the most part, if I was seen as a leader, so I understood that it's lonely at the top, and I had to separate myself. So that was it, man. When I almost got kicked out of school, dog, like, bro, I can't go home, dog. I was like, bro, first of all, I'm up here at how it's too much. It's too much out here, bro. Like, bro, this is no aces. Like, this is people dream to have this opportunity. And, you know, I'm blessed and fortunate enough. At the time, we wasn't winning, but I'm blessed and fortunate enough to have a full ride at Howard University and to do some great things. And it's like, bro, you can't mess this up. So that changed the trajectory of my life. Just that one scenario. And, man, that was all she wrote from there, bro.
I picked up on one thing you said. Once you started seeing the results of all your hard work when you started setting the records for, tackle for loss and everything. That kind of gave you that confidence. So for me, as a freshman, I was maybe one of 3 freshmen, true freshmen that played. One was my high school teammate who was a long snapper, Chase Boyer. Other one was a kicker, Will Kamen. I was the only skill position freshman to play. And we were, my freshman year, they were coming off of winning the national championship.
Right.
And Mike London was our coach.
Mm-hmm.
And we had about, I'll probably say on offense, we had like 8 returning starters, and probably like out of 8 returning starters, it was like they were all like 4th or 5th year seniors. So I came in with the opportunity to play early. And and obviously I was on a more winning program than you, but when I started seeing myself, I was getting in the game on 4th and 1 on big time plays, and we the number 1 team in the country. Then I started getting first downs, and my freshman year, I led our team in touchdowns. I was all conference as a freshman. So
Right.
once I started seeing that, I scored a touchdown against App State in the playoffs. So like, it started making me get that confidence, just like you said. Once you have that, once you see that little moment where all the stuff that you put yourself through to get here, and now you're having that success, your play, your performance skyrockets because that little bit of confidence that tells you like, yo, like I belong here.
Yeah, that's it.
Like,
that's it.
Early in your career as a freshman, like diving in, like I didn't know what to expect from college sports. Like, because I was a late bloomer myself. I didn't get my first offers until like November. So like I was still coming in like, yo, am I really as good? Am I really this good? So when I dove in with a team the year before that won a national championship and started having success, like it changed how I saw myself in light of, this is something I really can do. So in high school, I say this all, I didn't really work out. But after my freshman year, I went from working out with the kickers and like a receiver that was like 170 to being one of the strongest skill players on our team, and without having worked out in high school, simply because like my confidence in myself grew. Then my next year as a sophomore, I was an All-American. So it came from understanding that, like I put in this work, now I got the confidence from the guys that did it before me. They're feeding me this energy. And it's like, like I could taste it. Now I want it even more.
Yeah. And all you need is a little taste of it, dog.
That's all you need.
I came in because I didn't understand losing, man. I didn't understand that mindset. And my freshman year, I broke down the huddle after one practice. And that's like most freshmen don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm red shirt. So I ain't playing. So
that's powerful. Damn, that's tough.
Yeah, exactly. So, and they looking at me crazy. And I'm like, bro, let's get one thing clear. I don't fear no man. So I don't care until you prove to me what I should respect. I don't respect this. I don't respect what y'all got going on right here. I don't understand this. Like, this is not a part of the cloth that I come from. So I cannot bow to this. I can't stand under this understanding. Y'all understand? I can't stand under it. I don't get down with it. So you know what I'm saying? I broke the huddle down as a freshman, and I didn't think twice about it. I had an upperclassman come over to say to me, and we almost got into a fight on the field. I'm like, dog, you don't put no fear in my heart. I was like, you ain't doing nothing on Saturday. You ain't doing nothing in practice to make me respect what you got going on right here. And until you do, I don't respect it. I respect you as a person, as a man, off the field. But on the field, I don't understand none of what you're talking about right now. And I just can't understand it because that's not how I live my life. I refuse to.
Wasn't your standard.
Exactly. So I feel it, man. And like you said, once I got that little taste my freshman year on the field, balling out, making plays. That's my sophomore season is when it took off. And after that, bro, change the defense, change coaches. We got structure, and it was all she wrote, bro.
And I think what both of y'all talking about is that those experiences made y'all believe in yourself, yo.
Right.
That's all, right? And that's something we always talk about at Game 7 is once again taking something that everybody talks about, but then talking about what that actually means, right? So when you believe something, that changes what you anticipate,
Mm-hmm.
right? So instead of anticipating the parties and stuff, Keith, you start anticipating the 6 o'clock workouts.
That's
You
it.
started
That's all I wanted.
anticipating Saturday, right? You
I was
started
listening. I was
anticipating daily.
listening to Erica Badu.
Yeah.
And bro, I'll be in my room by myself, chilling, cold chilling, dog. Listen, I like this when Hennessy Black first dropped.
Okay.
Henny Black at first drop. I was about to get uh this after I pledged. That was a different experience in and of itself. Um, but this is my junior and senior campaign, and like all I'm thinking about is like, dog, this all I got right here.
Yeah.
So everything I did was dedicated to making it to the next level.
Mhm.
And so I would be in my room Friday, Saturday night with a bottle of a Henny Black, some good tunes on. I may call me a little honey dip through, and we may kick it, but it wasn't really going out and getting in the mix. Cause if you weren't knowing what I was on, I couldn't really rock with it, and it was too much going on out there for me to, you know what I'm saying, to really even get down like that. So yeah, so I was on a different wavelength, though. My roommate called it "keep me soft music," but I was in there chilling.
Hey, you was being intentional, yo.
Exactly,
You was being
exactly.
intentional. So I'm gonna pull it up now. So y'all both started to believe in yourself, right? Boom. Then that changed what you anticipated.
Uh huh.
And you started to be intentional. I'm gonna be in my own space, do
Yep.
my own thing. You're more than welcome to come to my space if you're adding value to my mission
Exactly. Exactly.
because you were focused, right? And then when both of y'all went through that process, the opportunities started coming your way, right? But if y'all didn't have that belief at first, y'all would have kept moving how you was moving, and them
Yep.
opportunities probably wouldn't have been created for you, you know. So I
Right.
think that's very very powerful. But also now that we're older and now that we're looking back, like I know y'all not kids, I'm not trying to disrespect y'all, but if y'all were younger kids, I would tell y'all don't wait for that moment to happen to believe in yourself.
Make it happen. Yeah. Believe right
Yeah,
now.
don't
Right here.
focus on
Right
what you're getting from that tackle and
now.
from
Exactly.
that touchdown. Focus on what you're becoming by getting all this extra work in. You feel me?
Exactly.
In that first game when you had 2 tackles for loss and you was working already before, you might have
Yeah.
had 5. And
Right.
then the
Right.
battle would be even sweeter.
Right.
KG, your touchdown record would have been even sweeter. And me and KG talk about it all the time. Like I used to be on KG about working out, Keith, yo. Like when
Yeah.
I would punch him in his chest a couple times, like on him, like yo, you don't, because we would play outside. I'd be like, yo, why don't you play like that during the
In the
game?
game,
Yeah, and I'm
he
talking
be
about
on joke time, bro. He
in
be
the
on
crib,
joke
yo.
time, dog.
Like, practice in the game, he missing. But
Bro, he be on
we're
joke
out
time,
in the
bro.
front yard, he Jerome Bettis, you know.
Bro.
But I would be on like workout, 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 and he would never work out until he grew. He ran a couple dudes over, like, dang, maybe if I work out now, I'll be even better, you know. So as we show this to the kids in the future, y'all can learn from Keith and learn from KG. They made it to the league and they got it late.
Yeah.
You feel?
So if you start early, you
Oh
know what I'm
man,
saying? I always had to work ethic. I just didn't have the size. So,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And that's just something like you can't coach. You can't coach size. Either you got it or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, man, the intangibles of what got me to where I'm at. Just
Mm-hmm.
that mindset, that discipline, that drive, that focus, that attention to detail, being locked in.
Mhm. So let's transition before we transition there before we close out. So what are you doing now? What are you doing
Uh,
with?
Currently, I'm the assistant director of basketball performance at the University of Maryland. I assist with men's basketball, but I'm in charge of women's basketball, and that just kind of like entails the day to day of um, sports performance and nutrition for the women's basketball team while assisting with the men's basketball team.
Do you know Crystal Langhorn?
I do know that's Lang is the homie. She from Jersey.
Where we from? Yeah.
I don't know her too well at all, but she grew up like literally on my street.
Yeah, she good people. She good people. That's my dog.
She was a
Lane,
beast. Bro.
yeah, Lane, my dog for sure.
She was a beast, man.
You also get some modeling in, man. Don't leave the modeling out, man.
I don't do that, man.
Come on, man. I see the
little hobby, man. Little somebody dabbling in on side to side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like I said, a lot of y'all didn't hear this before we jumped on the call. We got on here, and he got on here. His beard was glistening. It made me want to get my oil on, so I couldn't. You feel me? I couldn't come in this joint dry. He had that beard.
Here, man.
Hey, all right. What's the secret, Keith? What you putting in it? What's the secret?
Man, I just use natural oil, bro. All the oil that these natural women use in their hair, but that's what I use, though. It's not. I don't do nothing crazy. I don't take care of it like I should. It just grow, bro. I swear on everything. Like it really just grow, bro. I swear. Like, cause Matt, you know me when I was at Howard, bro. I was clean shave. I didn't know I could grow a beard.
You came out of nowhere with the joint.
Like, bro, I ain't start growing a beard till like 2014.
Mm-hmm. So you telling me it's still hope?
Huh? It's still hope, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Bro, when I tell you I had the goatee, I just had the goatee. My joint was thinner than yours, and just like thick at the bottom. All this was clean shave, bro. My joint was clean shave.
Like it's over for me. I'll be 30 this year. It's over.
And so when I got actually, after I was leaving Cleveland, I was at Cleveland, and I had the joint, and I couldn't find a barber, and the joint just started growing. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just shake myself up and keep it cool because I can line myself up. And the joint just started growing. I was like, yo, I like how this joint look. And I end up finding the barber. I was like, hey, you know what? Just line me up, bro. Keep my joint. Just line me up. And the joint kept growing. I was like, all right, I might come out with this. And then I got released, dog, and I was like, well, it's whatever. And the joints just started growing and growing and growing. And I got a couple compliments, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna rock with the joint. I'm gonna rock with the joint. Yeah, I said I'm gonna rock with the joint. And then they're like, yeah, well, I can't grow one. Like, but shit, I can, so I'm gonna keep it.
All right, Keith, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we had one guest get it right yet. So let's see if you really woke. Where is your favorite place to shop?
Get it right. This is a trick question.
Nope. You gotta get it right. It's a one. There's one correct answer.
My favorite place to shop.
Stumped him.
Game 7 shop, baby. Game 7 shop.
Oh, man. Hell no, man.
Everybody had the same reaction.
Hey, shop Game 7 apparel, goddamn.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you.
As a plug, Game 7 shop. I need one of the roses shirt, bro. You need to get one of them. Yeah, I need one of them.
Once we get up here, just text me and we'll get you a discount code so you can get one.
I don't need no discount code. I'm gonna pay full price.
I don't say no more, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Back.
You already know.
Yeah, but now next time you know, don't get it wrong.
Game 7 shot.
Game 7 shot.
The number 7, not how you spell it. The number 7.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Anything you want to say to close out, KG?
I appreciate you, man. The first time I met you, man, I just knew you was a different type of person, and I've always had mutual respect. I even came to you in time when I was trying to get back to playing. I even entrusted you to get me back where I wanted to be. I have much respect for you. Obviously, in this conversation, you can tell we have lots of similarities in our mentality of Game 7 as a whole, and how you are as a person and an entrepreneur. So I always respect you, man. Keep grinding, keep growing, and I appreciate your time.
Hey, man. I appreciate you for having me. One, and you know what I'm saying, I was going to touch on that. Like, bro, I appreciate you for entrusting me with getting you back to that next level, because you and I, you know what I'm saying, we both know what it's like on that level and what it takes. And I appreciate you entrusting me with that endeavor, man. And like I said, it's always been respect from day one. When we walked into that locker room, dog, with T-Choice and them boys, better not have them white socks on.
Killing me.
Bad day. You gonna have a bad day.
It's gonna be a bad day.
Look at him. He gonna have a bad day. That boy T-Choice was hilarious.
Bro,
like,
he would get on people. He would just say, like, yo, you gonna have a bad, your outfit is gross. He would call people gross. Like, dog, can I live? I'm just trying to get me some reps.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hey, man, but it's all love, all respect. Malk, same thing, man. From day one, you ain't showed me nothing but love. Even when I saw you in Nordstrom's that day, you was like, "Hey, bro, I'm trying to get you on the shot, like, but just hit me. I'm with whatever." So, hey, I appreciate it, man. It's a privilege and a pleasure to share my limited experience, on Game 7, and to the people that y'all reach, and keep doing y'all thing. Whatever y'all need, I'm here to help y'all further this endeavor and further educate and uplift and empower the youth. So one love, man. Y'all stay blessed, stay positive, stay safe, stay dangerous.
Yes, sir.
And I would like to, before we log off, I would like to second what KG said, because like I knew you longer, obviously, and I kind of saw this growth. You feel me? As you know, in college, I was getting into it with anybody and everybody.
Right.
It out, but as you know, I hung out with a lot of bigger dudes, and I talked a lot, so people would pick on me, and like I couldn't let them know that I was going like that. But now that I look back, I know like I had a very, very short fuse, and I saw your growth. Like when you said freshman year, I felt that energy from you. Like I ain't had no issue with you, but I felt whatever you was feeling. Right? But then also, especially like when you became a Q and I saw you on the field, I'm somebody, yo, I eat, sleep, and breathe football, yo. Like, like to the max. And when I got to Howard, like you said, the culture, how you hollered a couple times, that took my love away, bro. You know what I mean? I left, especially when they said I ain't had no scholarship no more. I was gone, and I watched you take that leadership role from such a young age, like college experience wise, and one of the primary sparks to changing the program. And talking to you today, I picked up some things, and I can see that you've continued that growth. So I do appreciate you coming on, and I respect you as a leader, and I'm gonna challenge you to continue to push that. And whatever your reach is now, find a way to make it even longer. You feel me?
You feel me? Ain't no other choice, though. No other choice, man. I appreciate y'all, man.
All right, bro. Appreciate y'all.
One love. Peace.